We just got some huge news for Pokemon Champions. The mobile release date will be June 17th for iOS and Android. You'll finally be able to play even without having a Switch. On top of that, it is now confirmed that Mega Raichu X does have Electric Surge as its ability, setting up electric terrain. And Mega Raichu Y has the ability No Guard, which means it can't miss any of its moves. These are some pretty cool abilities. Let me know your thoughts down below and let's talk about it. Finally, Pokemon Champions is coming to mobile. I'd hoped this had come out with release just because more people could play, but I'm very excited that we are finally here and it's coming up with the new season of Pokemon Champions. So if you have a phone, you're finally going to be able to play. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. If you do enjoy this video, feel free to leave a like, feel free to subscribe. I'm on my way to 500,000 subs, but don't feel any pressure because it's okay if you don't want to subscribe. Anyway, so the game comes out June 17th. It's already available for pre-download as well, which is awesome. I got to get that on my phone right now. And it is going to obviously have your save data as long as you log in using the same Nintendo account. This is perfect. I can finally get Rockside flinched while I'm walking outside. I don't have to be sitting in the comfort of my house for this to happen. And on top of that, you're also going to be getting for free the Raichu X, the Raichu X and the Raichu Y items, as well as a Raichu. So you'll be able to have the new Mega Raichu X and Y in your game, even without having Pokemon at home. I was a little worried about, how intuitive it would be to use Pokemon Home plus your phone. And obviously the Pokemon Home app for the Nintendo Switch is way different than the phone app. Like, you're able to trade and use GTS on the phone app, and whereas the Nintendo Switch one is typically where you transfer your games. So I'm a little interested to see, did any of you who played Pokemon Champions play completely only with Champions, only with the Recruit Ranch, only anything like that? Please let me know down below. But this is still an exciting time, and we're talking about the competitiveness of the abilities that they revealed officially and whatnot in a second. But this is really exciting time because only 160 million people, give or take a few mil, have a Nintendo Switch 1, and then only 20 million people have a Nintendo Switch 2, right? That's less than 200 million people that own a Nintendo Switch. That's less than 200 million people that can currently play Pokemon Champions, and billions of people have phones. So this is an exciting time because I feel like the wave of people coming into Pokemon Champions is going to be huge. Now, it's obviously up to Pokemon Champions and the Pokemon Company themselves to see what they do with that and to see if there's any longevity with that as well, right? You have to make your game good. We've basically been the guinea pigs for the first 2 months of the game, and you really have to have updates. The game has to perform well, and I'm excited to see what actually ends up happening. So, Raichu X and Raichu Y. It is confirmed right now that Raichu Y has the No Guard ability, whereas Raichu X sets up Electric Surge. And I'm pretty excited about this. So let's talk about Raichu X at first. Now, Raichu X is going to be setting up the Electric Surge, as I did mention. And this is cool because it means that support Pokemon, you basically can set up terrain for anything with Court Drive, right? We're talking about Pokemon like Iron Valiant, Iron Hands, is basically your Miraidon. Now, this is really exciting too because these are the stats we do have for Raichu X. And Raichu X is base 110 speed, which is 350, or at least at level 50. This is 178. I'll be talking both from a doubles perspective, which I now have more of, and as well as a singles perspective, what I think about this. We've had these stats since Pokemon Legends ZA's release, and I mean, this is a really good speed tier currently in Pokemon Champions. You're faster than Pokemon like Garchomp, as well as basically anything below. You're also faster than Adamant Sneasler, which probably won't matter too much because they're most likely going to give you the air balloon in the game or an electric seed in the game, and you can get that activated immediately, getting your Unburdened. And of course, White Herb still gets it done too. Now, how good is Surge Surfer on a physical attacker? I think you need to remember, at least in VGC, what support moves this Pokemon has. This is a Raichu. It has access to Fake Out, so it's already faking out. It already has a strong Volt Tackle as well. Now, in Pokemon Legends ZA, Volt Tackle did give you a +1 attack whenever you used it at the cost of obviously your HP. We shall see how that ends up going. I don't think you'll get that in this because they have Electric Surge or Electric Terrain here. Let me put Electric Surge right now. I don't think they'll have that because you have obviously the Electric Surge, but in terms of other support moves, you do have Encore, you also have Endeavor as well, and then there's Knockoff too that this Pokemon can do. And on top of that, it has the Incineroar treatment where it does have access to Volt Switch, so it does have a pivoting move as well. And its ability activates when you bring it out onto the field. This is basically Electric Incineroar. Is it as good? Absolutely not, because Instant is the GOAT. But having access to all these support moves, having access to moves like Feint, having access to moves like Encore, having a pivoted move to bring your Pokemon in, it is like a combination of Miraidon plus Incineroar, and it's basically able to, or Tapu Koko, I guess, but Incineroar is a little bit more closer because it's definitely not no Miraidon. And it's able to bring in your Pokemon, obviously at the cost of your Mega Stone. So I definitely see there being some really nasty partners with this. A few that come to mind are obviously all the Quark Drive Mons. We finally have a Pokemon that can set up Electric Terrain that's in the game. Because Tapu Koko would have been the GOAT. That's not Miraidon. And Pincurchin, unfortunately, doesn't have any pivoting moves. If they had given it like U-Turn or like Volt Switch, that would have been really nice too. Just to be able to get in some teammates. But that was more from a singles perspective. But a strong Pokemon that you can definitely EV to tank some hits with those 95 defenses, and just the ability to pivot into your Pokemon, have a fast Encore, I think is going to be really, really nice. And I think this is going to be such a cool teched out mon. Like, I feel like this will be pretty standard. You could obviously have Protect if you really want to, but I think you have such good support moves. Like this, obviously you're walled by ground types for the most part, but you also have access to Play Rough if you really want to. And I say Play Rough when I mention ground types because this will 2-hit KO Garchomp in the game. So being able to threaten Pokemon like Mega Charizard Y, Basculegion, and also being able to threaten Pokemon like Garchomp with Play Rough, at least a 2-hit KO, I think is pretty cool. Also being able to fake out next to it is really, really nice. And I really think you shouldn't underestimate that Raichu, but this is the Raichu I'm excited for from singles as well as obviously a doubles perspective, and that is Mega Raichu Y. Mega Raichu Y has no guard. And I've been talking about, whenever I think of Pidgeot, I'm like, yo, they gotta give Pidgeot Zap Cannon already, man. It's a Gen 1 Mon. Just give it Zap Cannon. Well, what No Guard does is it means you and your opponent into you cannot miss. Coming off of 130 speed, this is as fast as Pokemon like Mega Gengar and regular Aerodactyl. So you are incredibly fast. In fact, you are the fastest fake out Pokemon, I believe currently, that would be allowed. In the game, we don't know what else is coming into the game itself, but you're the fastest fake out Pokemon. But forget all that, you have access to Zap Cannon. You cannot miss. You have 100% accurate Zap Cannon that cannot miss. It's 120 base power and it has a 100% chance to paralyze the opponent. It will paralyze an opponent as long as they're not an electric type. Because electric types can't be paralyzed. Obviously, ground type you can't hit. But No Guard Zap Cannon is really, really cool. On top of that, Raichu does have access, and I'm looking at Raichu's moveset currently in Pokemon Champions. They might even add more. Raichu does have access to Focus Blast, so you don't have to worry about missing Focus Blast at all with this Pokemon. Pretty cool for Pokemon like Tyranitar and Excadrill. And also just a strong move coming off 160 base special attack. Just to give you guys an idea, a Garchomp with no bulk, all Garchomps are running bulk, but just a Garchomp with no bulk from 32 Mega Raichu Y, and I made it 160 special attack, don't worry, it is Mega Raichu Y, does 49 to 59%. You are guaranteed to hit both. Now, if it's Citrus Berry Chomp or a more defensive Chomp like 32 HP, let's just go max HP, you're still doing 42 to 50, so if that Pokemon has taken just a little bit of chip, and it is not Choice Scarf Garchomp, you are two-shotting it. That's just, I just wanted to let you know. Also from a singles perspective, because I don't know how much play Alluring Voice will see, or maybe it will, you can basically KO them with Focus Blast into Alluring Voice, which is absolutely nasty for Raichu Y. Not to mention, Raichu Y does have access to moves like Grass Knot as well for ground types. So this Pokemon has some pretty insane as well coverage too. Like I said, it has Grass Knot and Surf. Surf doesn't matter as much in doubles because you'll be hitting your partner. But in terms of other moves that I think make use of this accuracy, Electro Web is another one. Electro Web is another one. If you can look at the bottom, Electro Web is another one. So you don't have to worry now about missing your Electro Webs. And a fast Electro Web coming from, like, there's Pokemon like Rotom that run Choice Scarf. That way they can run Electro Web next to a partner. You have a fast Electro Web, as fast as Mega Gengar and Aerodactyl, that can guarantee hit both of your opponents and lowering their speed -1, being amazing for support. Other moves also are obviously Thunder, which I think is pretty cool. So if you want Thunder or Zap Cannon, I think they're pretty nice. Obviously, there's 10 base power difference. And then you have, if you're playing your in-game Pikachu, your Ash Ketchum, you got your Iron Tail. And if you're playing me in Pokemon Yellow when I was a kid, I had Mega Kick, Mega Punch, Thunder and Submission as my moveset. So that was very fun. But yeah, not being able to miss those attacks, I think, is extremely cool for this Raichu in particular. And then having access to like Fake Out as well, Electro Web. And again, just being able to do things like this from a doubles perspective, I think is so sick. You can definitely EV this to eat at least special hits as well. Physical hits, you're not really going to take too much with your 60 and 55 defense, but you can 100% EV this to eat some special hits like Don't Worry at that, like a Frost Blast, Mega Frost Blast Blizzard, which will probably naturally take, or a Sylveon Hyper Voice into like a Fake Out from a Sneasler or something like that. I think No Guard is really cool. I think it's obviously a double-edged sword. It means your opponent can't miss Rock Slides versus you, but Aerodactyl has a speed tie, and Mega Aerodactyl is faster, but still won't kill you even with the 60, 55. But again, there is a double-edged sword here because you and your opponent can miss. When I used this Pokemon again in singles, back in the metagame we were just testing out to see what would happen, it was insane how strong it was, right? Like from a singles perspective, you have Volt Switch, Focus Blast, Zap Cannon now. You can't miss, and then like just being able to punish anything, right? Like just imagine in doubles a Sinistcha coming in, and yeah, it doesn't take much from your attacks, but it's now been paralyzed. Now, granted, a paralysis is only a 1 in 8 chance to actually not move these days, but it's still extremely good. Also, Raichu has access to Nasty Plot, so at least from a doubles perspective or singles perspective, I think that could be really cool. I don't know if you want to do the whole protect the captain style VGC team with this, where it's basically you have Incineroar, you have Sinistcha, you have Follow Me Mousehold, and then you have your Megas that are basically set up like Nasty Plots and things like that. I guess you could do something like that. I think that'd be a little bit better if like Discharge didn't hit you as well. But again, there's a lot of stuff you can do here with like this, at least from a singles guy. This guy hits incredibly hard. It's incredibly hard, and 160 base special attack is just nothing to scoff at. So guys, let me know your thoughts down below on these Pokemon. I'm very excited. I like the abilities they have. I think that obviously Mega Raichu Y seems so sick in singles, as well as a really cool in doubles for just a Zap Cannon, Fake Out, and just strong hitting, right? Like Alluring Voice being able to hit Garchomp for a solid 2 KO is nasty. Basically, if I go for any move that is not an electric move into Garchomp as it comes in, I can KO it with Alluring Voice after. Like if I go for Grass Knot, if I go for Focus Blast into Garchomp, I can KO it with a super effective Alluring Voice after. So I'm very excited about that. And I think I'm even more excited about the fact that we have Electric Incineroar. So I think that'll be pretty cool. Being able to just pivot in and just doing as much as you can. Spreading paralysis. This is really funny, right? Because Voltec is 120 base power, Flare Blitz 120 base power. You have your Fake Out. You have your ability to activate when you switch in. So you have Electric Surge, and then you have Intimidate. You have your pivoting move. So this is your Parting Shot / Volt Switch. Obviously, they got rid of U-Turn. I would have loved if Mega Raichu X had U-Turn. I'm not gonna lie. Over that, maybe that's something they end up adding to it as well. We'll see if they end up updating move pools. But I would have loved that because then it means it can't be blocked, obviously. But I mean, if your opponent isn't bringing in the ground type, and there's 2 Pokemon you can Volt Switch on, right? There's not a lot of double ground teams currently in Pokemon Champions, right? You have Garchomp, and then you have the occasional Excadrill, and then sometimes in Trick Room you might have the occasional Mega Golurk, Mega Camerupt, etc. So being able to Volt Switch on the other guy and also powering up your teammate, I think is going to be a big thing. So let me know your thoughts down below. I'm excited for Champions to come to the phone, and I will see you guys next time. Feel free to leave a like and sub. Shout out to Retro NC as well for these gifts you guys are seeing on the side. And yeah, later guys.